Okay, we are live. And thank you for joining me. Good afternoon. I'm Mike Paulus. I'm the town manager, and I'd like to welcome you to our weekly briefing and thank the team for joining us today. With me are Chief Halloran and special guest Lauren Davis, Library Director. And unfortunately, Mike Pascasella, the Health Director, and our Police Department representatives couldn't be here. Chief Halloran normally joins us as well. But we'll carry on anyway and bring you up to date on what we're working on. And obviously our goal with this briefing, this weekly briefing, is to bring you up to date on what we're doing to combat COVID-19 and provide you with reliable information and resources on everything that's coming out from the state and guidelines. So we'll try to walk through some of the new information that's come out this week. And as always, we'd like this broadcast to be interactive and hope that you'll participate and share with your friends and family. Feel free to post your comments on the page and use our dedicated email, which is public-comments@townofnorthbrantfordct.com. And there's also information on our website at www.townofnorthbrantfordct.com, and also on our police, fire, and EMD Facebook pages. And I do want to say that Jim Buck, Emergency Management Director, is also pulled away and is not able to join us today. And we also have information. We direct people to take a look at the East Shore Health District website and the State of Connecticut Department of Health website, along with the governor's website. So a lot of information out there, a lot of sources, but those three, four with our town hall as well. There's a lot of information. You can always email as well, town manager at townofnorthbrantfordct.com. Happy to take your comments as well. But before we get into the program, as always, I like to thank everybody out there on the front lines for doing what they're doing and keeping us safe. So thank you for your dedication and your service. We're doing pretty well here in North Branford. Our numbers are holding steady. So from the start of the pandemic, we have recorded 84 confirmed cases, 5 fatalities. So last week we reported 83, previous week 83. So we're holding steady. We had 1 additional new case. But again, I think we're doing a great job out there in terms of flattening the curve. So our numbers are holding steady. And of course, we're balancing that with the fact that what we're going to talk about is partial reopening, which we have been talking about, and we're going to actually implement that. And that's part of the reason to have Lauren Davis here with us to talk about that, Town Hall. I'll talk about that. But before we get into that, just a reminder to stay safe, stay home, continue to do what you're doing with the social distancing, the face coverings and masks, all working to help lower or curb the spread, which is great. And with that, I think I'd like to bring Chief Seward in and just anything that you're seeing, a quick update, anything you want to add to today's briefing.
Thank you, Michael. The fire department continues to monitor its response to EMS calls in the town. We're 90 days in since the state of public health emergency was enacted. We continue to receive personal protective equipment from the State Department of Health on a weekly basis. Again, as we have reported in the past, it's the governor's intention to make sure that EMS agencies and healthcare providers have a good 30 days of PPE available so that if a surge does happen, public health and emergency medical service, firefighters, and police officers have the necessary equipment to get them through the surge. We see our calls continuing to be the norm again, and the public has responded very well, and we're glad to see that. And we're witnessing some businesses that have been closed, especially those that involve sports, reopen. And I got to say that those businesses in town that historically have large numbers of guests have done a great job and following the CDC, following the state health and East Shore District Health Department's guidelines and are very proactive. So with that said, we wish everybody the best of health. But as we have said from week to week, if there's a question in your mind as to whether or not you should wear a mask, please do so. Thanks, Mike.
Great. Thank you, Chief. And two things you mentioned there, I just want to maybe expand upon, which is the fact that we have some obviously businesses reopening and in this phased approach, and they're doing their part, and we're helping out and providing thermometers, providing face masks, other material. So we continue to do that here at Town Hall and continue to encourage businesses to give us a call or to call through the emergency management that was set up in order to get those supplies. And if you have a question, give us a call, because we obviously want you to go about it safely, and we still have an adequate supply and can help. So we want to do that. And Chief also mentioned sports, and obviously the summertime sports is an issue with respect to there are different phases, or there are different categories of risk for different sports activities. And the East Shore Health District is a regional district in the sense that we are part of a district that includes Branford and East Haven. And so there is an effort underway, and I know there was a long meeting yesterday about discussing the specifics of the impact of which sports and what that's going to look like. So that's a work in progress that continues in terms of dialogue, and we'll have more information that'll come through our sources through East Shore, through the town. We hope to have a briefing on this in the future, specific as we move through the summer. And obviously, there are differences within the sports and close contact. So that's why the state has put guidance out that categorizes the risk level for these sports. And so stay tuned on that. We'll hope to bring more information back to you. And in addition to that, we're doing our own reopening. We've sent out a press release here for Town Hall. As tax season approaches, tax department will be open beginning Wednesday, July 1st from 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 on a limited basis, and then after that by appointment. So we'll be open from 8:30 to 11:30, and we're trying to gauge the reaction and trying to provide service. And first and foremost, encourage anyone that can do their transaction electronically to do so. We are waiving the fee for the month of July, and so we're trying to entice people to stay safe, stay home, do that transaction electronically. And if you can't meet the 8:30, 11:30 window, again, call for an appointment. The rest of Town Hall is open by appointment only. So call ahead, call us, and try to set that up. And so that's how we're going to function. We're going to set some signage up. We'll also have a drop box that we've now put in for the front of the building. In the circle where the flags are, there is a drop box for bills, packages, correspondence, whatever you need in terms of dropping off for the town, in a secure lock box. So that is also an option that you can take advantage of. And as we open for the tax department for Wednesday the 1st, we'll be open Wednesday the 1st and the 2nd, closed on Friday for the holiday, and we'll reopen again on the 6th. But we're asking individuals to come to the back entrance, and that'll be where you can enter the building safely, and we'll have a monitor and an escort to get you in and out. We'll have the mask, we'll have our hand sanitizer, and again, trying to keep both you, the public, safe, and our employees. So we will launch that on the 1st, and we also have our libraries opening on the 1st, and I'd like to welcome Lauren Davis. And Lauren, if you want to tell us a little bit about what you're planning and how and what that's going to look like, because I understand it's not the traditional library, and I think we got to talk about expectations.
Right. Thank you. So first and foremost, we're very excited to reopen our buildings back up to the public. They've been closed since mid-March. We're excited to resume some of our normal library services that a lot of people have come to depend on us for. But our first priority is obviously the health and safety of not only the staff, but the visitors coming into the building. And we're trying to make the return as safe as possible by implementing some guidelines for visitors and putting into place modifications so that everybody that's in the building can feel comfortable and just know that the experience is going to be as safe as possible. We will be reopening on a modified schedule. Our hours will be Monday through Friday, 10 to 5, and then Saturdays, 9 to 12. I will say we are going to be open July 1 and 2, closed July 3rd for the holiday. And when we do reopen to the public, I just want to prepare people that while the building will be open and we'll be offering our normal services, we do ask people to follow some guidelines. Face masks. I want all visitors to wear a face mask if possible. Follow social distancing guidelines. We have furniture set up so that it's at least 6 feet apart. Computers are arranged so that it's at least 6 feet apart. We've removed a lot of the toys. High-touch surfaces will be cleaned quite frequently throughout the day. And we're asking people or encouraging people to limit their time in the building so that anybody that comes in feels that it's a safe experience. That's my biggest priority right now, making people feel comfortable in the building. So while ordinarily I would encourage people to come and hang out, this is not the time for that. It really is come in, ask us what you need help with. We're here to help. We're glad to have everybody back. But like I said, we're still trying to get through this in as safe a manner as possible. And I think limiting people in the building and limiting their time in the building is the best approach for right now. So when people do return, again, face masks, we have sanitizer units up. We are doing frequent cleanings. Please be assured that our building is clean. We do provide wipes for high-touch surfaces, so if somebody has to come in and use a computer, they'll feel comfortable using that, the copier. We'll have markings on the floor so people know where they can stand and where they need to wait. Just trying to make the experience feel as comfortable as possible for people. But I also do want to say that we are doing our summer reading program, and again, that's a little bit modified because we are not offering any in-person programming. That has been eliminated for right now temporarily, but we are doing a summer reading program. It is called Imagine Your Story. The theme is fantasy, fairy tales, and the children's librarians have set up weekly a royal schedule of events. And everything's on our website. Our website is nbranfordlibraries.org. They can go right there, and everything's all laid out. Kits will be put out front outside the entrances Monday mornings. They don't have to come into the buildings if they don't feel comfortable. It can be all done from home, and it's really encouraging families to get out, spend time together, and give them something to do. If we can't provide the in-person services with the programming, at least we can provide something for them to do together home as a family. So.
Great. And just a couple of questions for you, Lauren. Maybe you just want to restate those hours again for the record. Monday through Friday, I believe you said 10 to 5?
Monday through Friday, 10 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 12. So it is a modification of our normal hours. We will not be open evenings at all. So it's Monday through Friday, 10 to 5, Saturdays, 9 to 12.
That'll apply to both locations.
Correct. And I also want to say we will be continuing to do curbside service. So again, if people don't feel comfortable coming into the building and being exposed to members of the public, especially the 65 and older age group, they can call us. We can pull material for them. They can request material online. They can do it over the phone. They can send us an email. We'll pull it for them, and then we'll meet them at the front door curbside and deliver it to their car. So there is that option too, in addition to our remote services. So we're hoping that we have enough covered in-person services and remote services, again, just to make people feel comfortable.
Yeah, that's great. And do you want to say a little bit more about remote services or just a reminder about what that involves or what's available?
Sure. So our digital resources people can access from our website, again, nbranfordlibraries.org. They do require a library card. We can set you up one over the phone. It's a selection of ebooks, audiobooks, magazines. There's a craft site. There's tech sites. There's streaming media. We try to cover the bases from entertainment to education, but they're all linked off of our website under the online library category. So if, again, you don't feel comfortable touching a physical item, you can certainly access stuff remotely, whether it's a book, audiobook, craft projects, magazines. Great.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I will tell you that we're going to, we always are part of Interactive here. I'm going to look at to see if we have any posts or any questions that may come in. Ask you to stay to the end if you don't mind. And as we review, we might get some posts or comments or questions about that service. But I think it's great. I think it's great what you're doing, and obviously, making safety a priority. But again, like we're doing here at Town Hall, trying to provide access, trying to provide services, convenience, if you will, but in a safe and efficient manner. So thank you for all you're doing, Lauren. And I'm going to now segue into the announcement on that came out this week on travel advisory. And part of the reason why Michael Pascasilla is not on this call is that he's the health director is on a call with the state about getting clarification for that travel advisory that came out, and it has raised more questions than answers. But I think it's an important, and people should be aware of it and should know about it. So I'm going to just defer to my script here and read directly from the advisory that came out on the 24th. Travel advisory effective Wednesday, June 24th, 2020. 2020. Anyone traveling into Connecticut, New York, or New Jersey, and again, this is a compact with the 3 states, there has from state that has a new daily positive test rate higher than 10 per 100,000 residents, or a state with a 10% or higher positive rate over a 7-day rolling average are directed to self-quarantine for a 14-day period from the time of the last contact within the identified state. Now, under the criteria, the advisory further states that the criteria they're using, as of Wednesday, there were 8 states involved: Alabama, Arkansas, Arizona, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, and Utah. So that's the advisory, and our health director is working on that. And so that's going to have some ramifications, and we don't have all the answers yet, but I'm sure this is going to be coming back, because it obviously affects any kind of travel plans, any folks that are looking at Florida as a big draw, obviously Texas, all of the southern states there. What does it mean? And right now, we're working to get that information, and I'm sure that we'll get Michael back for a future meeting to discuss that. So that is on the state's website, and the governor, I'm sure, will be having another press conference to handle some of the questions and concerns regarding that travel advisory. So stay tuned. We'll try to put out as much information on that as we can. In addition, as I said earlier, we're working on the parks and fields and sports activities. That's ever evolving as we move through the summer months. So we'll continue to work on that. Right now, I'm just going to take a look to see if there are any posts or any emails that have come in. And just bear with me. Okay. I do not see that. So I think we get close to wrapping up, unless, Bill, there's something you want, Chief Seward, or you want to add. We typically, I make a plug for the food pantry because of food scarcity, and they are open for donations on Tuesday from, let me get that, Tuesday from 3 to 6. So if you can, their number is 203-208-2581. If you can help out, that would be great. So again, the message is stay safe. Lauren, thank you so much for joining us and for the information, and I hope everything goes well with the reopening. And, if there's anything else you want to add, now's the time.
I'll just say that there are donation bins for the food pantry in the entryway of both libraries.
Oh, perfect. That's great. Thank you for mentioning that. And I thank you for joining us today. And Chief Seward, thank you as always. Appreciate your time. And I guess that'll wrap up for today. And we hope to be back next week. Because of the holiday, we'll either have a modified or we'll have to skip for the following week. All right. Thank you, folks. Have a great day.
Thank you.